Hey, this is Albert Heising, the fifth. Thanks for coming back to another episode of Move to Sioux Falls. Today we got to talk to the owners of Origin Strength, Rory, Witt, and Austin Luecke, and just hear a little bit about their business, why they moved to Sioux Falls, and a little bit about them. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked this episode. I should come up with a saying like, move to Sioux Falls.
You don't have like a jingle?
No,
We could do that. It used to be in show choir. We could make it like a video.
We're in show choir.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Just ask.
It's the only way you got to travel.
video.
Like small town Iowa. Like the
Oh,
only
yeah.
way you got to travel.
Yeah.
Is like, oh, you want to do show choir? I mean, we went to Chicago, DC.
There's supposed to be a
Louisville.
marble laying on the table.
That
It's a
is
bearing.
part of the.
Don't throw it. Are you kidding me? I'm just gonna throw this on the couch over there.
Well, my instructor will pick it
Find
up.
it.
So my instructor, I have like a person that comes in after the cleaners and like checks everything and make sure it's all good. And I would text her like, "Hey, there's a marble on the couch. Just find it for me."
You'd remember that?
I would remember that. Yeah, I remember stupid stuff like that. HitFire Questions. Who do you guys text the most? We'll
My
start with
wife.
Rory. Okay, good.
For sure.
Okay, we're rolling.
Yeah.
Austin.
Yeah, I would say my wife. Otherwise, I've got a couple group chats with some buddies that I'm in that are pretty active as well.
Okay, group chats like text or is it like Snapchat stuff?
No, it's text.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah. I'd say a Snapchat group text more than.
Well, I'm glad the
actual text.
last three guests, one person said their wife, the other people said not their wives. So I'm glad like the spousal thing just kind of shifted back.
Yeah.
She's at least in like top 2 for me.
Okay. Okay, next question. Favorite alcoholic drink, even though I know you guys are fitness junkies.
I like a Dr. Pepper Captain Morgan.
Okay.
Call them Morgan Peppers.
Morgan Peppers.
And I gave up alcohol like 3 years ago. So when I did drink, oh man, old fashioned was the way to go.
Okay.
Old fashioned or an
Cool.
IPA. But now athletic brews, like for an NA IPA, like athletic brews are really good.
Dude, I should probably get on your train. I get my asthma every time I drink beer, and like hard liquor just gets you way too fast drunk. So you just kind of
There's something to be said about it.
Yeah,
Having
so-
your weekends where you wake up and feel good, it's
Yeah.
it is nice.
Rory probably still feels good.
I still feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He's a machine though.
favorite fitness movement, whether it's like bicep curl or
I mean, if you're talking like a functional movement, a real movement,
Sure.
front squats for
Okay,
sure.
front squats.
But yeah, doing like some arms, some bis and tris, that's pretty fun too.
Okay.
Getting a little pump.
I'm similar. I like cleans. I thought he was gonna say kettlebell swings because he's supposed to be the kettlebell guy. But cleans,
Okay.
Olympic weightlifting movements,
Cool.
good things like that.
Where are you guys originally from?
I'm from Hayward, in Iowa, Northwest Iowa,
Groton, aka God's country.
which doesn't exist in South Dakota. God's country doesn't exist in South Dakota.
Okay,
It's Iowa.
okay, whatever. I mean, no state income
Albert's
tax,
from
man. New Jersey.
New Jersey.
So, I mean, I would never wish anyone to go there. So, go to Iowa or
harsh.
South Dakota.
I
So-
honestly had no clue you were from New Jersey.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A
Cool.
little bit
We
of like
learned
Canada
something.
in there.
Yeah, so it was like New Jersey to Vermont, and then 1 year of Canada, Prince Edward Island, and then Iowa, and then South Dakota.
I feel like we're gonna have to unpack that sometime.
We will. Well, that's why we're here. We were
Yeah.
able to unpack what you guys want to talk about, and unpack what you want to talk about with me. So, all right. So we're back on Move to Sioux Falls, and Move to Sioux Falls is a business that I own. It's a real estate business, and we're here in the Riff, which is Kayla and I. We run SoDak Stays, which is a short-term rental property management business, and the Riff is one of the properties we manage. It's rock and roll themed, so there's a guitar. There's a couple of rooms that have different themed music in them. So we have an iPod room, a record player room, and I'm just glad to have the guys from Origin Strength here, Rory and Austin. Sorry, I almost did that wrong. But yeah, so tell me a little bit about yourselves. Yeah, I'll start with Austin first.
Yeah, Austin Luecke, from Groton, South Dakota originally, came down to Augustana back in '08, and that's when I originally moved to Sioux Falls and been here ever since. I met my wife, Kate, at Augustana. She was a couple years younger than me, soccer player. We now have 3 kids. 4th one on the way.
Dude, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
thank
awesome.
You. Kate is a nurse by trade, ER nurse by trade, and now she actually is a nursing professor at SDSU. So that's what we do. And then I work at Farm Credit as an ag banker outside of gym time as well. So,
Dude, you guys are doing everything. Dude, keeping it busy. I'm going to have to ask you for pointers once I get to outnumbered on that.
Our life is just nonstop chaos. It's always busy, but
Hey,
I feel like we wouldn't know how to function if it wasn't that way. So,
well, you made time for this, so.
That's right.
All right, and Rory, what about you? A little bit about yourself.
Rory Witt. I'm from Northwest Iowa, Hawarden, Iowa. Came up to the University of Sioux Falls for college. Moved to Omaha for a little bit. Came back, worked for Farm Credit just like Austin for the last 15, 16 years. Met my wife, Kelly. We've been married about 12 years, and we live in Brandon now. And we have 3 kids, ages 10, 7, and 4. So,
dude, that man.
And we don't have a fourth. We don't have a 4th on the way.
You don't?
No,
okay.
definitely not.
Okay, gotcha. That's awesome. So kind of lost my train of thought there, but basically, you guys both came here based on education, right? So it was like Augie, USF. Were you guys just like gun-ho about staying here in Sioux Falls, or were you just like, this place kind of sucks? Or like what was the why behind why you came?
I mean, honestly, like USF's okay, but Sioux Falls, like growing up, Sioux Falls is always where we came to shop and hang out and go to movies and drive around, cruise the downtown loop. So going to USF was just kind of a way to get to Sioux Falls. I love Sioux Falls. I moved to Omaha I think I was there for 3-4 years, and it's bigger. There's probably more going on there, but Sioux Falls as a whole kind of has that blend of big city feel, but still that small town that I kind of grew up in.
For sure. You didn't want to go to Sioux City, Iowa, stay in the state of Iowa?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Sioux City. It's just it's catching up maybe a little bit, but Sioux City wasn't what Sioux Falls was 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
The Southern Hills Mall is not the Empire Mall.
Hey, that's for sure. I mean, I feel like no malls around America are really what they are post-COVID. So,
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And Austin, so Augie to here, did you ever feel like you wanted to get out of South Dakota or?
Yeah, I've had moments where I have thought about like, oh man, it'd be cool to go somewhere else or move somewhere else. So right after college, Kate did travel nursing for a couple of years. And she lived out in Boston for a stretch and then over on the West Coast in like Spokane, Washington, somewhere right around there. So just those couple times getting to go out and see her and visit her, and just some of the trips we've taken to mountain areas. I love the mountains. I've always said like I wish I lived in the mountains for a few years, but there's just something about Sioux Falls. It's home. It's where we want to raise our family. There was never like right when college ended, there was never like, oh, I'm moving back home or I'm moving to Kate's from Omaha. We never wanted to move like one of those places. It just, Sioux Falls has always felt right.
Yeah. We have the cool dynamic of like little big city, and then like 6 hours west, you could just like go to the Black Hills and experience, the great outdoors, which I don't know what other state kind of has that. Anyways, it's a nice atmosphere to just have both. So I kind of alluded to this. Sioux Falls is, I think, the best little big city. And I think some people think it's headed toward the best big little city. When you guys got here, what was Sioux Falls known for, and what do you want Sioux Falls to kind of be known for in the next, let's say 5 years? 10 years seems a little bit too long.
Oh, man. When I moved here, Sioux Falls, I mean, I knew Sioux Falls as the Skyforce and stuff growing up and where we went for movies and concerts and things like that. where it's headed, I'm amazed by how much Sioux Falls has grown. Like one of the biggest changes since I've been in Sioux Falls is downtown. When I was in college, which was, I mean, that's 20 years ago, we didn't go to downtown, right? We never went downtown. I barely knew what it was. Phillips Avenue, you didn't really know what it was unless you were going to Minerva's. And now, even being older and having kids where the nightlife isn't really what we do now, we still spend a ton of time downtown, and it's a lot of fun. Like last week or the week before, we went to First Friday.
Oh,
here on 8th and Railroad, and it was awesome. Like we had all 3 of our kids there. We were with multiple other families, and everybody had a blast. It didn't cost us much money. You know, there was ice cream and some food to eat.
Yeah.
But free entertainment, great bands, great people around, and it was just this atmosphere is like, man, this wasn't here 20 years ago, and that's really, really changed.
That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah, I would agree. I would echo what Rory said. The downtown is is pretty awesome. The Riverwalk area is really cool. Very similar like college. I mean, we went to downtown to Wiley's or Stogie's maybe 10 times in my entire 5 years.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I mean, downtown is, you know, we live over on the east side too, and it's where we always find ourselves downtown. Seems like when I first moved to Sioux Falls, it was always like people would always be like, oh, Sioux Falls has the most restaurants per capita in the world. So it seemed like that was like what Sioux Falls was known for, is just like an insane amount of places to eat out, which
for sure
we still have a large amount of places
I
to
think
eat
we
out.
still have the most per capita in the U.S. for sure. I know that stat, but
we need to do something about where some of them are located.
yeah,
Like
I think so too.
Chick-fil-A, Cold Stone over on the east side, we could use both of those.
Hey, I completely agree.
Yeah, I think everything that's on the west side should be replicated to the east side. That's how I feel. I mean, probably.
I mean,
maybe
the east side
population
is
doesn't support
newer
that, but
anyway, so we
yeah.
should just get some of that stuff.
Yeah.
What's another one? Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love myself some Texas Road. But honestly, like living in Brandon, it's a good half-hour trip to get to those places from my house. So we
True.
stick to the east side quite a bit. So if some of that stuff could just keep moving east, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's funny. And whenever I moved here like 7 years ago, they just like always say, hey, everything's 20 minutes away. And then
Yeah.
you hit those suburbs and you're like, all right, now it's 30.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's, yeah, I love how there's just like free. I don't get it. I'm like, how do we get all this free stuff? It's like you said at 8th and Railroad, like you didn't pay much money. The Levitt has the concerts every weekend for the next, I can't even remember. Is it 50 free concerts for the
Something
next
like that.
10
Yeah.
years or something
Yep.
like that? That's insane. So yeah, family friendly. Yeah, that's probably where we're headed. We're just a family friendly, community based city.
Yeah.
With a lot of art and culture.
Mhm.
So, what else do you guys want to know? Do you guys want to, like I've been grilling you with questions. You guys got any questions for me or?
How short-term rental business in your mind, right? For you guys?
Yeah.
How has that evolved over the last like 2 years? Because how long have you guys been in it? 2 years?
This would be our third summer. So yeah,
Biggest surprise that you've encountered.
Yeah, biggest surprise would be like we're the most expensive in town, but we have 25 rentals and we're like maxed out. Like our 3-year goal was 25.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just like, hey, we're 2.5 years in. We don't need to add anyone. And like, we can kind of be picky with who we have now, which has been a really nice surprise. Like most entrepreneurs I talk at Startup Sioux Falls, they go, hey, you at your 5-year mark, that's when you know like is a make or break and you get to be picky and choosy. So yeah, that's been a pleasant thing.
So then what makes you different? Like why are you a bit better? Why are you growing faster? You could be cocky about it.
Yeah. So we started on like the experiential stuff. We always just wanted like nice, clean finishes with everything. Like a place like this is from like the 1910s. And it's still got really funky, cool vibe to it. I don't know if we can see the like mural of this monkey behind us, but it's just like, that's like an Instagram worthy moment where like you can have an experience behind it. It's like, hey, let's take a picture with the monkey. So those are kind of the things like we try to like go after right away. We stuck with marketing. And then the last thing is like the cleaners. They're like kind of the lifeblood of our business. And we just were like, hey, we're going to do it different. We're not going to hire a cleaning company. We're going to contract all these people out and then have inspectors after them to just like double check everything, which has kind of saved our butts a lot of times from getting a 4-star review to a 5-star review.
Yep.
So I mean, those three things I would say like really set us apart right away. And then going forward, we just try to stick to 25. I would say maybe we get to 30, but like, here's an example. A lady was diagnosed with cancer, and her sister called and was like, hey, we're doing Christmas in July at this property. We decked out the whole property in Christmas themed stuff. Now, say we had like 100 different rentals and we had to do that to like 4 or 5 of them. There's no way we could do that in a weekend as just like me and Kayla with some contracted cleaners. So it's different than long-term rental, right? So that's kind of how we differentiate ourselves, is really zigging where everyone else is zagging. So
who's the ideation, or who's like the creativity behind that between you and Kayla?
Yeah, I would say Kayla, she is more focused on vision stuff. But there's little tidbits from the real estate stuff that I'll be like, hey, should we like capture people's data by doing this? Like more like data capture marketing stuff. Like I'll kind of give her the ideas, but like more process oriented or like fun interior design stuff, she'll kind of like float those ideas over. So it's a good balance, right?
So who's the boss?
Kayla is the boss, always. The wife is always the boss. Probably with you guys too, right? So so that kind of like, what about you guys? Origin Strength, like how did you kind of start it? I know like Joe runs Origin Health. Like, is that kind of like how that all started? And how did Austin get involved? I was like, oh, Austin's just like this other character question in here.
Origin Health started during COVID. I don't want to tell Joe's story. He can tell it on his own, but it started during COVID. He's a chiropractor. He started Origin Health, kind of had a different idea or mentality around what, life and energy and vigor means, and took that and ran with it. A couple years later, we started Origin Nutrition, which is just adding in the food dynamic of what we put in our bodies affects the way we move, how we feel, our attitudes, how we sleep, our stress, and everything like that. And then from there, Origin Strength was kind of born. And Origin Strength is a gym. It's a facility that you have to. It runs itself. Joe and Kelsey can run the chiropractic office with them and a couple hired people. Origin Nutrition is mostly me and Kelly. But you start coaching, training, and having this facility that's a gym, and you need somebody else that's been in the space that can provide value to the clients and stuff. And me and Austin have been good friends for years. We worked together at Farm Credit, and it was just a really easy come together and say, like, what kind of value can another person add? And I'm not sure how Joe and Austin knew each other. Austin can kind of say that, but they knew each other. And it was just, we were just sitting there one day and Austin's name came up, Austin Kate. And I was like, man, that'd be a really good ad as we get the gym going.
For sure. So how did you get involved, Austin?
I always jokingly like to say they just need another investor involved in it. But no, like Rory said, just good buddies at Farm Credit. I think just had a lot of similar views around health and fitness, longevity, what strength training and what training in general mean. Definitely some differences too, but I think that's good when you can have people that have overarching similar goals, views, but have some slightly different paths that they want to get there through. Fitness and training is something that's always evolving. There's always new, different things coming to it, but I think when it boils down, you're kind of getting to the same core or the same structure of where we want to get to. And so, yeah, it made it a really easy partnership. We've meshed and gelled really well together between me, Rory, Joe, and then all the wives too have just kind of found their areas that they like to offer their expertise. Kelly does a ton of stuff day to day at the gym with kind of the admin, behind the scenes roles. Kate and Kelsey do a lot of stuff with apparel and social media, and
I was trying to get them
kind
on,
of just
but...
they would have been a lot more interesting probably. So yeah, it's been a really, really good, smooth transition into the partnership.
Good. I know we all used to kind of work out at the same building. Is that where you had met Joe at first? Was like, I think it was like the Pure Fitness space, right? You were working out at first, and then, there was a different gym, which is the rock climbing wall over at Frontier. But is that where you had met Joe, or was it more the chiropractic side?
Nope, that's where I met Joe, was when I was working out over at Foes.
Okay.
And then, just started to slowly get to know him a little more and started to go see him as a chiropractor. And, things just kind of slowly evolved into the gym.
Dude, what a small world, right?
Yeah.
That I feel like that's Sioux Falls too. Like when people say like best little big city, it's like, oh, hey, I ran into X person today. And you're like, dude, there's like 200,000 people here. Like, how did you just randomly run into them,
Yeah.
So
it happens all the time with me. Like, you wear an Origin Strength shirt out, go to Costco, and somebody's like, hey, you know Luecke? I'm like, yeah, I know Luecke. Like, how do you know Luecke? And it's a story from, hey, back in college or whatever it is. And Sioux Falls is still small enough that, I mean, that stuff happens all the time. And what is it, 7 degrees of separation type of stuff? Like, Sioux Falls is like 3, 2, maybe. Like, if you know one and they know the other, you somehow married each other's cousin or however it was. But
probably like 80% of the city is made up of like all these different small town people who are like all like, hey, let's talk about
all intermixed.
Yeah. What people's drama is. But
that's what I think what's interesting about Sioux Falls, like the culture of Sioux Falls, it's a blend of a lot of small towns. When I lived in Omaha, a lot of people that I meet, they were from Omaha, right? So they were always big city people. Well, you really run into people, plenty of people I meet, grew up in Sioux Falls, but the amount of small town people that are in this town that still have those values, I think that's what keeps however you said it earlier, like the small town big or the big town small.
Yeah.
That's how I think it kind of resonates with a lot of people, is that we still have everybody kind of transplanting here from around.
Dude, I mean, I'm just so glad that you guys said that you'd be on. So, because I mean, I was like, kind of.
He needed somebody.
Well,
somebody.
Someone rescheduled on me, so I was just like, and then I ran into Joe. I was like, "Hey, you want to do this?" And he was like, "I would, but I work." Like, I guess.
I work.
Yeah.
Rory and Austin don't.
Yeah, they'll be fine, right?
I feel like while we got you on camera, we need to ask the question: When are you going to start coming to the gym?
Ooh.
Oh, so
he's been there once.
I have been there once.
I know.
Joe convinced me that I should go get a punch card because I was like, I kind of miss the community. I was telling Kayla that. And then she said that as soon as I start selling consistently 2 houses a month, I can start going back. So probably in the next
week.
No, not in the next week. I've gotten to 3 last month, 2 this month, and then I think she wants me to get like 6 months under my belt before she's like, hey, you're good to go.
She should look up the tie between physical fitness and finding a community that you work out with and professional success.
Referrals. Yeah. Referrals at the gym.
Hey, I know. I mean, I do.
You know how many young people we have that don't own a house yet?
I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but I do work out at Crunch sometimes. I know, but they got childcare and they got free sauna, and so I mean, it's been hard, but I do want to also go back to Origin. So,
the question should be when Kayla's coming back, because she was a real athlete of you two, anyways.
Whatever, dude. Whatever. I do the Mom Strong with her for all the health stuff she needs postpartum. Yeah. So, yeah, I would say. Here in the next couple of months, I mean, if this thing keeps rolling and we keep doing well with move to Sioux Falls and people want to keep buying houses through me, then I will be definitely in the next like week or 2 buying a punch card.
All right.
So you suckered me into it.
There we go.
Oh, cool. Last question here, just so we don't run out of time, is if budget wasn't an issue, what are 3 things that you guys would change to make Sioux Falls even more awesome?
A professional football team.
Hey,
if budget is no issue, like that's the pinnacle of like what a city can have.
Hey, if you want to invest with me, I like if I start selling some houses, I would totally buy into a professional football team.
So it's going to take him 3 houses a month to join Origin. So he's going to have to sell like somewhere between 1,000 to 1,500 a month, and then we can start talking about football team.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
fair.
Hey, that'll be fun. Yep. Then we won't have to root for the Vikings anymore, right?
End of that.
What's wrong with rooting for the Vikings? He's a Packers fan.
I mean, I'm a Giants fan, so I mean.
Yeah, but you at least live there.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. Yeah.
Has Austin ever lived in the state of Wisconsin or within like 30 miles of it?
Nurse, so I don't
never lived in Minnesota either.
I said or within 30 miles. My in-laws are from Minnesota,
so
I can kind of claim it.
Kind of. So, hey, if you got a relative, I'd say okay. Do you have a relative in Michigan or?
I was just smart, and I wanted to set myself up for success as a little kid. So I said I'm not going to be a Vikings fan. I'm going to be a fan of a franchise that wins.
Oh, okay.
So he's also a Nebraska football fan. He's a North Carolina basketball fan. He's an Alabama college
Okay, you're
football
kind of a
fan.
bandwagoner, I feel
So
like.
No, I have an Alabama shirt because my sister lived there.
Oh, okay.
And a Husker football fan, that's like the most depressing thing you can be the last 20 years.
Okay, so I know most people don't care about this, but like, what's your favorite hockey team if you had to pick one then?
I would probably just say the Wild because it's
close.
Yeah,
correct?
there you go.
Yes.
Okay.
And
so
they're not that
no,
good.
but that doesn't. I had already picked a football team. Well,
Is there
when I was
some
very
story
young,
behind the football
No.
team though?
Nope.
There's no story like your dad didn't bring you to a game and you're like,
my whole
oh,
family was Viking fans.
Oh,
I just wanted to be different.
hey,
Albert's down with that.
I'm down with that. I'm down with being different. Well, anyways, we won't be able to root for the Packers if we get a professional football team.
I would be
here.
fine with that, but yeah.
Okay, cool.
So number 2 would be taking Wildwater West or a version of it and planting it right in the middle of Sioux Falls for me.
Yeah.
Having kids, I think like a water park, something like that. I mean, Thunder Road is really awesome. So if we could take Thunder Road and add some water to it
For sure.
or something like that. I mean, I think the city's doing a good job, I think, of expanding some of the options for the water.
They're doing a lot of like splash parks, and I think they just bought Sanford's indoor pool
On the west side, yeah.
on the west side. So that,
Yeah.
But I mean, it's on the west side. Wildwater West is way on the west side. So
Right.
I mean, you could. I think they're doing some development right over on 10th and Clef right there. Just Drake Springs, just blow that
there we
all
go.
up. Kind of like Sioux Center in Iowa, like went huge with their all-season center. So yeah.
That's great community stuff.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, let's move Wildwater West to the middle of the city. So, easier said than done. But maybe we'll ask Mayor Paul since he was on the podcast. Can we move this?
Yep.
So, and then third and final, is there like something you guys would both agree on?
I would say more golf. Another golf course. Another like city course.
Okay. How many do we have now?
I feel like we have a lot, but I did read something not too long ago that with the growth of Sioux Falls, the amount of golf courses we will need in like the next 20 years
It's always
to
been,
keep up
yeah.
is because what's the new country club coming
I
on the
forget
northeast
name
side of
that
town?
one.
We're gonna have
Oh,
to edit this
yeah.
one.
It's over
Maplewood?
by Slip Up Creek over
Mapleton,
there. Yeah.
Mapleton, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that'll be good.
Mapleton.
I mean, that's a good change because I know the country clubs are full. I mean, COVID, I think, changed that dynamic a lot, but having more golf courses, I think, would be great.
Yeah. Are you at all concerned, like if things start popping up and you're like, well, I guess you guys are both in town. I would say like somebody who's in an acreage, like in a joint jurisdiction, probably is like, oh, get these people out of here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that. I mean, I think that's always as you grow. I mean, there's aches and pains with it, but I think the
sure.
growth, the way Sioux Falls is going, is awesome. I've had plenty, working at Farm Credit, we have plenty of customers that kind of live on the fringe urban that are definitely annoyed with it. But I think once they get used to it or once they see the value in it,
Should we?
you got to appreciate Sioux Falls' growth. If you're from here and stuff, like
Yeah,
I
true.
think everybody wants success and growth for where they came from.
Hey, and if you don't, I guess you can just move to Hayward in Iowa, right?
We're always, I think, Haywarden's always taking more.
Yeah.
You can always
Okay.
take more.
Good.
Yeah,
Good. Cool. Well, that was the last of my questions. Do you guys have any final thoughts before we do wrap it up?
No, I think everybody should come to Origin Strength, including Albert.
Yes. Okay. Origin
We're coming
Strength.
up on, when's our year?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's our year.
That's your anniversary.
For you, 1 year
1 year.
anniversary.
Hey, see,
Yeah.
maybe I'll go one time a year because I've been once already. No, I'm kidding.
Nice job. Nice job.
Thanks for the plug.
Yeah.
And you were talking about earlier with SoDak Stays, the growth. We've grown faster than we thought we would, probably in different ways that we thought we would, and we serve our community probably in a different way maybe than we originally thought we would, but we're excited for what's to come.
Good. You guys got like any events to like wrap up the show that we want people to know about? Is there like some big thing coming up? Like
We just got done with Murph,
Yeah.
which was Memorial Day Murph. We don't really have anything on the docket now.
do you
but there
you
will
guys
be.
got a new class that I thought I heard coming up, right?
Yeah, we do. So it's kind of the one we were talking about beforehand. Origin Generations is what it's going to be called. So it's going to be a little more targeted towards people in their like upper 50s, 60s, 70s. So kind of hitting a population that a lot of gyms tend to forget about. When in reality, I mean, that's a time when people need strength training more than ever. I mean, that's when bone density, muscle mass, things like that are plummeting as you hit those 50, 60, 70-year-olds. So to be able to promote a good quality, long life, people need to be active and need to be doing something. So yeah, we're kicking that off on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 and 4:30. So I know the coach that's leading that class right now is looking for 20 kind of guinea pigs to run it in July. So if you're out there listening, get a hold of us.
Yeah, dude, the strength guys. It's where you originate strength from, is Origin Strength, right? So, well, thanks so much for being on, guys, and until next time. Yeah.
Thanks, Albert.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this episode, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe.